Hey everybody, what's going on? My name is Huriwai, and this is the very first episode of Uniquest, where it's my job to teach you everything I know about the sport that I love so much, unicycling. I'm going to be breaking it down as much as possible so it's easy and fun to understand, starting with the beginner skills of learning to ride all the way to advanced to expert unicycle skills and tricks. First, we're going to start off with your unicycle, making sure that it's ideal for you when learning to ride. Okay, unicycle check time. The most important aspect is going to be your seat height. You don't want it too low. In between your hip and your belly button is going to be ideal. Next will be your tire pressure. Make sure it's pumped up nice and firm so that it doesn't fold and compress when you're turning. Pedals. You want new or at least grippy pedals that have some pins in them. Metal or plastic, it's okay, but I recommend plastic pins because metal can be very painful when learning to ride. You also want cranks that aren't too short. If you have cranks that are shorter than 125 mils, I recommend getting some longer ones because those are built for faster unicycles and they're quite difficult to learn to ride on. And while we're talking about the wheel set, make sure you line up your pedals and cranks correctly. There are left and right pedals and cranks. If you try and put a left pedal into a right crank, you're going to damage the thread on the inside. And also when you put your frame on, make sure right is on the right, left is on the left. Because if you put it on the wrong way and the left-hand side is now on the right-hand side, while you pedal forwards, your pedal is slowly going to loosen and it's going to damage the thread on the inside of your crank, and that can be a very expensive mistake. Okay, so you've got your unicycle. Now you need to find somewhere suitable to learn to ride. I recommend somewhere that has a wall, a cage, something sturdy for you to hold on to, and then you can practice what I call the assisted mount. First thing you want to do is put the seat under you like this, grab onto the wall, grab onto your unicycle with your free hand, put your foot on the pedal that is closest to you, okay? And then lean into the unicycle, holding onto the wall, and slowly help yourself on to the other pedal. There is another way that you can do this, and that's with your pedal closest to the ground like this. Put the seat under you, your foot on the pedal closest to the ground, grab onto the wall, and then you can lean onto that foot. Like that. Otherwise, like this, if you push down with that foot, it's going to move like this, okay? So this method can be easier, but I don't recommend learning like this because if you learn like this, as soon as you have your other foot on, you can push down straight away and go forward. But if you're learning like this position is known as the dead zone. It's very hard to get anywhere, okay? So the first thing you generally have to do is go like this. Push it backwards so that you can then push down with this foot. Okay, so now that you can actually get onto your unicycle, let's practice a bit of distance. Let's go 3 revs assisted riding, okay? So now the first thing you need to know, keep your weight on the seat, all right? Don't try to stand up like this, okay? And every time you want to move forward, you have to lean forward, which means putting your arm in front of you like this, okay? If you don't move your hand in front, what's going to happen is when you try to move forward, your arm is going to be pulling you backwards like this. So the first thing you want to do always is move your hand continuously forward like this. Okay? Hand in front, hand in front, hand in front, hand in front. And just get used to this, all right? When you first get on your unicycle, just move around a little bit like this. Lean forwards, lean backwards, move everywhere, and see how the unicycle is going to respond. And slowly improve from slow movements like this to a little bit faster, like this. And you want to be up like this, back straight, okay? Nice straight back like this, leaning forward with a straight back. Leaning forward from your hips, not from your shoulders, all right? So that's 1 rev, 2 revs, 3 revs, and you're done. All right, so the next thing we're going to be doing is assisted idle 3+ revs. So get on your unicycle, and this is what we're going to do, moving backwards and forwards in half revolutions. Now this is quite an advanced skill, but in terms of doing it assisted with the wall, it's a great practical exercise to get used to what's going to happen when you lean backwards or you lean forwards and how the unicycle is going to react. So this is idling, moving backwards and forwards in half revolutions of your wheel, just like that. And it's your foot that comes closest to the ground that's going to be doing the majority of the work. So find out which foot you prefer. This one's going to become your dominant foot. And so you notice the upper half of my body is more or less staying in the same place, like this. And the bottom of your body is going to be like the bottom of a pendulum. So like this. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so the last step in this beginner video is riding unassisted for 1 rev. And there's multiple ways to do this. I'm going to show you 2 ways. One way is using the normal assisted method where you hold onto the wall and then try and let go for 1 revolution and then grab back on. Okay? The second way to do this is to be perpendicular to the wall and try to use the wall to push yourself to ride 1 rev, okay? So lean into the wall, push yourself, and then lean forwards for 1 rev. Sometimes this method works better for people because you're riding out into an open space and you can flail your arms in all directions. If you're riding alongside a wall, it can restrict your movement because when you try to correct, you might hit your arm into the wall. So this is a good method if you just want to dive straight in and you're not worried about falling over. But if you are worried about falling over, put on some knee pads, some elbow pads, some gloves, a helmet, whatever you need to feel more comfortable, and just give it a go, because the only way you're going to get better is if you try and try and try. Practice makes perfect. Lean into the wall. Push, lean forward, and get your arms out in front of you, like this. One tip that I forgot, which is really important, is that you have to relax, okay? If you want to ride a unicycle, you can't be too rigid, you can't be all tensed up, especially in your legs, so try and learn to relax. Lean and go off the flow. All right, guys, that's it for beginner level 1. Hopefully you learned something. If you're struggling with something in particular, leave a comment down below. And if you think I missed out something important, leave a comment down below and maybe I'll make another video with additional tips for beginners that are struggling. Look out for the next video. Practice hard. Practice does make perfect. Peace out. I'll see you then.